Here.
Let's all stand. Gentlemen, remove your hats for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. You all received the minutes via email. Any additions or corrections? The last meeting. Seeing none, they will stand approved as presented. Approval of the current financial report. You've all received copies of that, both via email and I think hard copies in your files or wherever.
Move to accept the report.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to approve the current financial report from the auditor's office. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Pettichel?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
And approval of the agenda. Under the Finance Committee, report was submitted, but it hasn't been signed by the chairman or other members, so we will defer that until the next regularly scheduled meeting. I have nothing else to add. I don't think we have a need for an executive session this time. Okay.
Move to approve the agenda then as amended.
Motion by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda as amended. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Pettichel?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Okay, public hearing. Anyone wishing to address council may do so. Please come to the microphone and state your name and address.
Thomas L. Kesselring, 769 Gardenwood Drive, Greenville, Ohio. I've lived here for 43 years, so I've seen a lot come and go. But I have never seen the stuff that's going on with that gas stations down there and that gas station over on Martin and the pile of crap sitting in front of the house down West Fain Street. When's going to be something done about those things before we have a fire, before we have somebody burnt to death or insects or spiders or rodents getting into their property? I wouldn't stand it if it was by my house. You want me to read this again?
It's your choice, sir.
I would like to address the issue of the council about the long-time situation that I feel these are an eyesore for many years. About the house on West Main Street and about the gas stations at by the Maid-Rite and over at East Martin and Main Street. Something needs to be done. They equal rights for other. My equal rights are not being done if you let that continue. I think there's a lot of people that feel like that. If I need to get a petitioner, well, I will go around and get one. Gives me good exercise.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to address council may do so at this time. Seeing none, we'll move the agenda. Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'd like to say a few words about that also. Nuisance properties, I know we haven't put anything in our budget for nuisance properties, but that's not, and I'm not picking on just them, I mean, they're bad. But it's hard to do anything else in town when you have places like that that are falling down and look terrible and not in compliance with our ordinances, and be nice that we could do something. And I think the CIC has definitely been working on trying to find out and figure out how to take care of those gas stations. We've sent Mike Bowers as kind of an emissary for us to talk to a couple people and make some phone calls. I know there's been a lot of calls made and emails in the past about those gas stations and what we could do, but so we're trying to make one more last attempt and asking before we do anything about it, so, so we don't make them mad particularly right away. And I think the same thing may go with Mr. Metzger's property down here with the wood, that maybe we could stop by and say something to him one last time and ask him if he, can do something different and maybe bring some of his wood in compliance. It's not quite right now. And he leaves these cars parked on the street and for days at a time. It's kind of illegal, and a lot of people do. But then how do you get anybody to do anything if there's a person that continually gets away with it? So I just, I appreciate Mr. Kesseling to come up and speak about it. And I know there's a lot of people, I hear it all the time about, wish we could do something with those. And I think so too. But we need the support of the public and council to continue with that. So hopefully we'll continue to look in on that a little bit more. So hopefully we can do something besides just ask. I mean, especially when there's a history of not cooperating. So other than that, I have a couple of things. This Thursday, I'll be signing a proclamation for National Day of Prayer. And on May 3rd, we'll have our particular kind of a rally, if you want to call it, outside the front of the city building. Last year we had a lot of that liquid sunshine. We had to move it down to Episcopal Church, but it's kind of a neat event. There's a lot of public come up, and it's it's really a wonderful thing to be outside and hear some speakers talk and talk about National Day of Prayer. So May 3rd, we'll be outside in front of the city building and have a special ceremony about that. So look inquisitive, I don't know.
You have a time for that?
Yeah.
10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock. So then besides that, I had said something about the last meeting, bringing up asking for money this meeting about Altar of Peace. I'll probably do it the next regular meeting. I wasn't sure how that was going to work, what funds they're coming from, how it was going to be done. So we'll schedule again for the next meeting. I asked the auditor about how we would take care of that. So a submission of appropriation will be done and brought to you for your consideration for $1,300 for the Altar of Peace to get it to the place where we thought it was going to be at. They had put up I mentioned in that letter that we had put up we didn't, but we helped put up a lamppost type of a situation. It wasn't safe, and it wasn't durable to the elements, and the gas had to be turned off. And so that will get us to a place where we'll have a flame and some lights and a big heavier post, and we'll run some electric, so when down the road we'll not only have availability of having a flame, but also a light that looks like a flame. So that's for the present time until the project moves forward, and that's what the committee wants, is to go on down the road. And I don't know how far out down later on this year and maybe next year to revamp maybe that whole area and make it look really nice. There's some nice drawings that I'll bring one of these days, and you can see it all. So that'll be next meeting then. So we'll see something on the agenda next meeting. One other thing, this person sitting here near me is Matt Harrison, and he does some work at PCS, if everybody remembers what that is. Personal Centered Services. Yeah, I was going to say it, but I was kind of wasn't sure. So Matt is a resident, and has been always thinking of trying to do things for the community and to help people. And he's called me several times, and we've tried to work out some things, but I haven't quite found the right thing for him yet. But I wanted to bring up something. On May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, he's going to be traveling to Newark, Ohio, and he's going to be the 2nd, he's going to be an orientation, and then the 3rd and 4th, he's going to be on the State Developmental Disabilities Council, and he's appointed by John Kasich, the governor, to be on this council. So for his first meetings then will be next week, and I just wanted to introduce him to you and for the work that he's going to, I'm sure he's going to be a big contributor to that council, so it was kind of a really cool thing, so I just wanted to introduce you to him. So we wish you the best, and I'm sure you're going to have a good impact on that council. So thanks for coming on meeting. So he was here last month, or last meeting, I don't know if you've noticed him, but, so, thank you. Thanks for doing that.
No problem.
Other than that, I pass it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And congratulations to you, young man. Next, Safety Service Director, Mr. Garrison.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Good evening, Council. With the passing of the 2018 budget, within that budget, Council allocated more dollars than it has in the past for the planting of trees. And last week, we were able to have our first tree commission meeting. And at the tree commission meeting, we had a discussion about reinstituting within the city of Greenville the tree lottery. And in reviewing the tree lottery ordinance, which is a part of our codified ordinances, the parameters is a little bit different. It was written several years ago, and I believe that we could perform the program differently this year and years to come. So I would like to discuss this evening a couple of those changes. When the tree lottery was first developed, a homeowner could sign up, and the hope was that their name would be drawn. And if their name was drawn, they would be allowed or permitted to go to a local nursery, and they would be given an allowance of $250 to have a tree larger than 1 3/4 inches planted on their property. And they would go and they would sign the contract with the landscaper, they would pay the bill, and then they would bring the city the bill, and the city would reimburse them up to $250 for whatever tree they chose. So the city really had no involvement other than drawing a name and making payment. Because council allotted more dollars for trees and the city has the equipment to plant trees, obviously we've been planting a lot of trees within the park. We have been attending the Labor Day sale at Brown's Nursery, so we're able to purchase the trees in quantity and get a decent price for the amount of trees that we're buying. So would like to, the other parameter within the tree lottery was they had to sign up by, I believe it was the middle of March. And obviously we're past that date. So would maybe like to extend that date to August the 1st. Would like to, the city would plant the tree. The parameter was changed after the ordinance was first developed. When it was first developed, it said the tree could be planted anywhere. The city since has changed the ordinance that the tree has to be planted in the right-of-way. And we would maintain that current rule that if a person was chosen, they would maybe get to pick the tree, but the tree would have to be planted in the right-of-way. Obviously, the city workers can perform that work. We would drill the hole with our skid loader, and we would plant the tree, and then it would be up to the homeowner to maintain. So the homeowner would not need to spend their money on the front end and get reimbursed, and which creates more paperwork for the auditor's office. We would just draw a name. They would simply pick the tree. We would go purchase the tree at Brown's, and then we would plant the tree later in the fall. So the thought process is that we would have, if we get to change these rules, we would have the property owners sign up by August the 1st. We would then draw an award at our September tree commission meeting. And, well, we're going to have to do it before that. We're going to have to call a special meeting because they're going to Brown's. I believe it's the Sunday after Labor Day. It's not Labor Day weekend. Either way, it's the first part of September, so they'll go purchase the trees, and we'll most likely will plant in October. So that is a proposal to council. We would, if council would entertain those changes, would get those changes to Eric and present legislation at a future meeting. Any questions?
You need a motion to?
Well, if everybody's
approve
kind of in
that, or-
approval, we'll just, we'll go ahead and suggest the changes, and the approval will come when the ordinance is presented, so. But that'll, we haven't done the tree lottery for several years, and it's a great thing when we can plant some trees.
Yes.
So, and this will not hinder us in what we want to do with North Broadway or the 4 Schweitzer Street project, as those monies are going to be budgeted. Money for those trees are going to be budgeted into the project. So, any questions on that? And then I would like to conclude my report this evening with the thank you for the entire group from PCS, Personal Centered Services, on Friday, which was a much more spring day than today. The group from PCS, I believe they said it was Service Group B. And I'll just preface this with Mr. Burkett had made a comment at a prior council meeting about how through winter it was, really windy and just a lot of junk and trash laying around. And so anyways, PCS, I solicited their help, and they went to the intersection of Russ Road and Wagner Avenue, and they started at that point, and they walked both sides of Russ Road all the way out to 121, spending Friday afternoon just picking up trash for us. That area seemed like it had accumulated a lot over the winter. So we appreciate their effort and the difference that they make within our community, and I think they set an example for all of us. So a big thank you to them. And with that, Mr. Council President, I will pass.
Okay, thank you. Law Director, Mr. Brand.
I will pass.
City Auditor, Mrs. Wellman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. The only thing I wanted to bring up was that, amazingly enough, the budget cycle is starting again. We just informed our department heads that they need to get their initial budgets in by the 1st of May. So within the next month or so, you're going to be seeing some figures again. So,
There we go.
yes, here we go again. So with that, I pass.
Lucky you, Chief. Started again. But then no rest for the wicked, but I didn't think he'd been that bad. And I didn't, we do appreciate all the department's heads and all the people in management, their cooperation in this effort it's just a necessary evil, something that we have to do. So we're looking ahead to 2019 already. Okay, we have deferred the committee report till next meeting, and under ordinance and resolutions, we have 8 to consider tonight. First is a supplemental appropriations ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. This ordinance authorizes appropriations to the Park Fund for Phase 1 Trails Grant Park in the amount of $8,506. These adjustments are needed to reflect the total amount of funds authorized for the various CIP projects, and to the Capital Improvement Plan Fund for General Government New Equipment and Infrastructure, CIP, in the amount of negative $15,827, and Roadway Enhancement CIP in the amount of negative $276,740. These funds are needed to cover half the survey costs for the Phase 6 bike trail per the city's agreement with our county parks.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Next, we have a transfer ordinance.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the City of Greenville. This ordinance allows a transfer to the Public Transportation Fund from operating public transportation in the amount of $1,500 to professional services public transportation in the amount of $1,500. This transfer is needed to cover current dispatching software maintenance until new software is installed.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this ordinance by title, second, third time.
Motion by Mrs. Howdeshell to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the City of Greenville. An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the City of Greenville.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
And next, we have another ordinance approving a form of memorandum of agreement between the city and villages for weather sirens.
An ordinance approving a form memorandum of agreement between the city and villages for weather sirens. This ordinance approves a form memorandum of agreement for villages within Dark County to use the City of Greenville's communication facilities for the activation of village tornado siren alarms.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a reading for second and third time by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
An ordinance approving a form memorandum of agreement between the city and villages for weather sirens. An ordinance approving a form memorandum of agreement between the city and villages for weather sirens.
Move to adopt this ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Howdeshell to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution authorizing the advertising for bids for maintenance paving projects for 2018.
A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2018. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids for the 2018 maintenance paving projects.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second, third reading by title only.
Mr. Spit, to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2018. A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2018.
Move to adopt the resolution?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for professional engineering services, consultation services for the Memorial Drive Waterline Project.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the Memorial Drive Waterline Project. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the use of professional engineering consultation services for the Memorial Drive Waterline Project.
Make a
Motion
mo-
to, go ahead.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the Memorial Drive Waterline Project. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the Memorial Drive Waterline Project.
Motion to adopt this resolution.
Motion by Mrs. Howdeshell to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Hoddeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution authorizing bidding for reconstruction of Birch Street.
A resolution authorizing bidding for the reconstruction of Burt Street. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids for the reconstruction of Burt Street.
Move to suspend the rules, give this second and third reading by title only?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing bidding for reconstruction of Birch Street. A resolution authorizing bidding for reconstruction of Birch Street.
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
And then we have a resolution authorizing a contract with Choice One Engineering Corp. For professional engineering services for reconstruction of Birch Street.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the reconstruction of Birch Street.
Motion to,
This,
sorry.
this resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the use of professional engineering consultation services for the reconstruction of Birch Street.
Motion to suspend the rules for the and read this by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Ms. Hottishell to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the reconstruction of Birch Street. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the reconstruction of Birch Street.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Wright to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
And finally, item 8, resolution authorizing transfer of used equipment to another municipality.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of used equipment to another municipality. This resolution authorizes the sale of a 2012 air sweeper from the street department to the village of Arcanum in the amount of $65,000.
Move to suspend the rules and read this resolution by title, second and third time.
Motion by Mrs. Hottishell to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of used equipment to another municipality. A resolution authorizing the transfer of used equipment to another municipality.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Hottishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
No.
Motion carries. That concludes our ordinances and resolutions. Have nothing under old or new business. Communications. Do we have?
A quarterly report was received from the fire department. Monthly reports were received from the following departments: the CIC board, police department, street department, and transit department. And an invitation to attend the CORE program regarding pipeline safety on May 3rd, 2018 was received. These reports and invitation were distributed to council.
That's it. That's all we have. Call down the council, please.
Mrs. Hottishell?
Want to thank everybody for coming out on this cold night. And in case I forget, I will be absent or late May 8th. I will be working the polls. And with that, I pass.
Mr. Rogers?
Believe it or not, it will get warm one of these days. I pass.
Mr. Schmidt?
I will pass.
Mr. Whitaker?
First, I want to congratulate the young man sitting there with a big coffee in his hand. Good job. And we're proud of you. Keep up the good work. And second of all, I want to address my concern about what the gentleman talked about regarding the Wood House. My only concern, my main concern is this. What right does someone have to allow their property to get to the point where it affects real estate values? Because it does. Ask any realtor. The other things will be dealt with, I'm sure, regarding the gas stations. But I understand, and my first time I ever came to Greenville was like 6 years ago now. And the first thing I asked my wife was, what's the deal with the house? How can anybody do that? How's anybody permitted to leave their property go like that? I've lived all over the country. And I've never seen anything like that. And quite frankly, I think there's a lot of people in Greenville that are pretty perturbed about it and are wondering why is that permitted when others that want to build a carport or do something to improve their property have to go through third degree to get a permit. My neighbor was so he couldn't build a carport because it was too close to the alley. It was like, okay, well, let's do something about an eyesore and then we'll talk. With that, I'll pass.
Mr. Wright?
I have to agree with Jeff. We talk about a few things at this table, but then there's very seldom things are done, especially about eyesores. Other than that, I'll pass.
Mr. Godwin?
I'm going to pass.
President Burkett?
Yes, I would just like to take this opportunity to express my congratulations to the Greenville High School Athletic Department in particular, and the school as a whole, on the opening of the new track facility the other evening. Several of the council members, or a few of the council members, were able to attend. It was a pretty neat ceremony, and to think that you know, the community came together to help make that facility possible. It is quite nice. If you haven't had an opportunity to get out and see it, you should. And it is just another good, positive thing for our community. So with that, I will pass. I thank everyone for being here. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Ms. Hattershell to adjourn. Call the roll, please.
Hattershell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Adjourn.
There's to Mr. Mayor. Right.
Steve?
Now to
Good luck.
You got a lot of ink in your pen.
Yeah.
I just today at Speedway bought another company up in New York.
That's okay. I'll forgive you this time.